We have a left half of our brain and a right half of our brain. We have the concrete thinkers and the poetical thinkers. We have the conservatives and the liberals. We have the emotional and the analytical. I seek to integrate these. I want ideas that take both types of thinking and integrates them together. And I don't think it's just me. I don't think it's some inspiration of mine. We have two halves of our brain. And when they're severed, each half can develop its own personality. Mind you, one half of this brain we use can't even speak in language. Okay? Some people think that without language you don't have an intellect. Well, half of our brain has no language. Okay? And we're trying to integrate, and we're trying to speak whole thoughts when only one half of the brain can really speak. I guess it's this half. So it speaks for the other half. Or will it lie? Will it misinterpret the other half? Will it, if in conflict with that other half, just give its own ideas, mistranslate what is being told by the other half of the brain, and refuse to do a service to that brain? We need integrated ideas. We don't need liberalism. We don't need conservatism. We need ideas that integrate both aspects. Okay, and it's not because in the universe that these are the fundamental two things. No, that's probably bullshit. It probably can't be. But we have two halves of our brain, and they are specialized. And they have these specialties, and one is more emotive, one is more analytic. That's our reality. It's not innate to the reality, but it is part of our reality with our embodied minds. We need to get ideas that take both into account. It's not healthy to have one half of the brain dominate the other in either direction. Okay? It's not healthy. We need to use the whole brain. We need to understand that what seems like a whole idea is really half of an idea. These two halves seek each other and create a whole idea. We need to be poet scientists. Okay? We need to be creative and analytic. We need to determine answers and accept the indeterminacy of answers. We need single solutions and parallel solutions. We need to put them together, and we need to live in a strong way, accepting the full reality as we experience it. And that's what I seek in philosophy, in politics, and in all things. There is no absolute answer to anything, but we still have answers. It's not absolutely true that something needs oxygen to live. As far as I know, possible to live without oxygen. But I need oxygen. If I come up with a social system that keeps in mind that all humans need oxygen, I haven't made an error. If I try to abstract the human condition, into all conditions, and I say everything needs oxygen, that would be wrong. But if I say I need oxygen, that wouldn't be wrong. If I say all my family needs oxygen, that wouldn't be wrong. If I said all my planet needs oxygen, even that wouldn't be wrong. But perhaps some things don't need it. But the planet as a whole still has this need. Similarly, taking into account the future and the past, perhaps one day I'll evolve into a creature that doesn't need oxygen. Maybe even humans won't need oxygen. Maybe we'll need oxygen, but we can produce it ourselves. Who knows? The point is that we can go in any direction, and what is concretely true for us today may not be true tomorrow, and in that sense it is not absolute. It bothers me to see someone like Menton trashing the phantasmagoricals. It bothers me to see someone like Ian Crossland implicitly trashing the concrete thinkers. Though I have to give Ian credit, I think he's trying to unify both halves. But I think he's definitely on the poet side. But I think maybe he understands that, and to me that's a redemption right there. You know, he sees that we need this other half, and he's not quite able to give us that other half, but he tries, and that's why he pulls in science and seems to speak literally, when really he's speaking as a poet. Okay? I'm tired of this battle between the poet and the engineer. You know, we need to unify our ideas. We need creative engineering. We need scientific poetry. We need to bring our ideas together and mix them together. And mind you, it's not, ideas are like chemistry, I think. You know, when you have an idea, it's like a chemical. You meet another person, and their idea is like a chemical. Do they interact? Is your idea inert and interacts with nothing? These are all chemical. You know, the chemical metaphor applies well. But an interesting kind of chemistry is food chemistry. In food chemistry, often you have mixtures that don't stay mixed. That's why, given time, they fall apart. They're mixed for a time period during which they taste good. And that's what we need to do when we integrate the left and right. You know, they really are contradictory, so they'll separate in time, given time. But if we mix them, they can taste great, you know, together for a certain period of time. You know, oil and water don't mix. Oh, but they can. You know, we can mix them and keep them mixed, and they will stay mixed for a certain while, and we can apply them. As humans and living things, we don't really need to seek the kinds of chemistry that are stable on their own, you know, forever. You know, we don't need to seek the steady state. We're not about the steady state. We pump entropy, defying the laws of physics. We mix foods that will separate. At some point, the ingredients will separate on their own, but we mix them. And we consume them while they're still mixed. And we enjoy. We take the Epicurean path and enjoy those things by consuming them while they're still mixed. And the fact that they won't stay mixed forever, fine. We're built to cook again. Okay? So right now, right here, we need to bring our ideas together. If you're analytical, learn creativity. If you're an extreme creative, learn some analysis, learn some concrete realism. Find some balance. Because if you don't, then one half of your brain is oppressing the other half. Is that really how you want to live? And can you ever have a nation where one part doesn't oppress another part? If in your very brain you're oppressing parts with other parts, let's learn how to embrace freedom. Let's embrace the freedom of one part of our brain to think its way and another part to think its way, and to make a union of these things, to make a recipe where sweet and sour, you know, go together. You know, it can be done. And I hope you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you know, ask me, because I know.